You are consenting to be recorded. Okay, excellent. All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, then let me just reiterate the fact that what I will be sharing with you is a methodology through which Arabic is learned, and we have been really listening to various interesting talks that included efforts from all teachers of Arabic. What is the best way to begin an Arabic course, how to progress, what are the levels, what to teach, and the fact that Arabic nowadays is so rich as far as I am concerned, with standard language and other spoken languages, and we have really a rich linguistic really landscape. And this richness should be really looked at positively, not negatively, and should be dealt with in a very objective way. So what we mean by performance is really what students do. Okay, so everything that they do, be it drama, as you see on the left, or theater, role playing, to all the way to filmmaking, going by chanting, visual art. So anything they do, and through which the language is mediated, is what we could probably put it as part of the performance, right? So a performative or a performance-based pedagogy is a pedagogy that believes in learning through doing, learning by doing, not simply by passively listening. Okay, and then when we adopt a methodology of this nature, we are certainly involved in the creation of content. And as I will explain a little bit later, this particular content, what I would like to pretty much lobby for is we have to put all the textbooks away. And the content, it should be a conversation and a production between the learners and the facilitator, who eventually is the teacher. Okay. Now, I think what I would like to do is play this short film. So I would like you to sit down, enjoy watching the film, and then we will talk about it after. So this particular film is a language learning film. You will see the students performing, and then I will explain the details of this particular production. I hope you hear the sound. Is
yes,
the sound? Oh, excellent, very good. Okay, so it's a short film, so just relax, take maybe some notes, and enjoy the film.
عسلامة عسلامة أنيتا. هذه أمي ميشيل وهذا هويا. شو اسمك؟ اسمي علن. هذا بابا جون وهذه أختي. اسمي ديرين. وين ماشيين؟ ماشيين للشارع نلعب بالكرة. تمشي معنا؟ أي تحب؟ أنا زيدا. أنا زيدا. بابا نمشي معهم.
هاي باهي باهي.
ربحنا.
هيا يزن من لك تعال نروح لدار إيشا لا نلعب شوية
عايشة.
لا لازم نروحوا إيشا إيش بنتي
كيفن مارست عيد ميلاد خويا ألين. نهار بجي
باهي فين
تعرفنا
وقتاش
5 تبي نجيبها معك. باي باي بالسلامة.
باي باي بسلامة هيا نمشي 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 هيا نمشي كيما هكا نمشي وفوق نمشي ونمتع نمشي وبسرعة نمشي وبشوية
ألو كيفن.
ألو أنيتا لاباس
صباح يعيشك. اسمع كيفن، هات نشفي كادو خويا تمشي معي.
أنا زادا نحب نشتري كادو الألن باهي نمشي معك.
نشوفك قدوة قدام دارنا العشرة. باهي
باهي ليلتك سعيدة.
ليلة سعيدة.
نهاركم زين تفضلوا مرحبا.
محليها الجبة مزيانة ياسر.
محليها شاشية زادة
نهار نشريها.
يا شبه جبة محلاها زعما تشريها
قداش؟
20 دينار.
غالية ياسر.
واش الشيء 10,000.
اسمح لي قديش الجبة؟
استنوني شوية كنتلها بيكم
ساعدني شوية
على خاطركم تو نخليهم لكم الزوز 25 دينار. تفضلوا. هاي صحة تفضلوا في كل وقت. عيش
بسلامة.
في الأمان.
ماما وين الشمع؟
في الكوجينة فوق الطاولة. وانيتا جيب كاسين عيشك. شكون؟ تفضل.
أنا عسلامة. لبس الحمد لله.
مرحبا بكم. سلامة دبي. مرحبا بكم تفضلوا ادخلوا الصالة.
سامحني يعيشك شو عندي جاتك.
مساج نشوف الباص.
سلامة سلامة.
ماما I have a ghetto الجيران.
استنى شوية ايش ولدي.
عسلامة.
السلامة. شكون هذا؟
هذا اللاتي وسامة.
لا ما هواش وسامة.
شكون هذا؟ ما عرفتوليش. أنا نعرفكم الكل. هذا صاحبي ألين. وأنا شكون؟ أنتي أخته أنيتا.
وانا اختي شو اسمها؟
اسمها ديفي.
وانا شو اسمي؟
اسمك كيفن.
انا امريكي.
لا أنتي روايدي. وأنا فرنسوية. لا أنتي أمريكية. أما أنا بالحق تونسية وصاحبة ألين. وأنا بنت خالتها.
يا هو يراكم الكل.
عرفتنيش أنا شكون؟
اسمحني حتى انا ما عرفتكش.
أنا صاحبكم أسامة.
Joyeux anniversaire, joyeux anniversaire, joyeux anniversaire, joyeux anniversaire. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to Alan, happy birthday to you.
مبروك ألان. يعيشك.
Okay, good. I hope you enjoyed watching this short film. It's a film, as you saw the title, Welcome to Tunis. In fact, because these are expats living in Tunis, so they needed to learn Tunisian Arabic. If this is, Egypt, it'll be welcome to Egypt. If it is Jordan, welcome to Jordan. So short productions of this nature targets pretty much, those who are interested in particular parts of the Arab-speaking countries. So here, if you if you want to see a little bit some details about the learning outcomes, the learners, they learned how to greet, they learned how to introduce themselves, they learned how to introduce also others. They also learn how to invite, accept, and decline invitations. They learn how to ask and give permission. They learn how to suggest, ask about prices. They learn how to express likes and dislikes, how to express opinions, how to request politely, how to talk about locations, how to talk about time, how to express exclamation and ask WH questions. So it's a short production, but all of these have been really part of the training. I'll go a little bit through the details. Of course, you must have some questions. Please leave your questions until I finish this short introduction. So when it comes to learning spaces, I think this is something that we really have to kind of think outside the box of the classroom. I mean, we have corridors in schools, we have open spaces. So let's look a little bit beyond the, the 3x3 meter or 3x4 meter classroom, and think about also, all the open spaces that are available for us here and there, so that when we think about learning, we think about designing, a particular curriculum, but let's keep the learning space quite open. In this particular session, they had 8 hours of language training, and it was spread over a period of 7 weeks, given the fact that the parents and the kids, they go to schools and so on and so forth. This particular session could also be done in 1 week. If it is over a break, 28 hours can be done in 1 week. You can see here we did it over 7 weeks. It could be done over 3 weeks, over 4 weeks. That's something which the facilitator, the teacher, should be able to have control of. The session were held in this particular instance in the house of one of the teachers, and it maximized really the feeling of being in in an original setting where Tunisian Arabic is naturally spoken. So as you could see in the film, they mingled, the learners, they mingled with the other children, they mingled with the other adults, and they heard the language the way it is spoken and the way it is produced. And you heard a lot of voices coming from teachers of Arabic about, what is natural, what is original, what is authentic. This is how you maximize this particular aspect of learning language. And you can see during the tea time breaks, the common, Tunisian lunch periods and the outdoor soccer training, all created really like an immersion context, maximizing the learner of the language within really its social, cultural context, especially since a number of, Tunisian Arabic native speakers were around, these break times. And, we heard that, for example, in Spain, there are so many, Moroccans almost in every neighborhood. Those are highly, convenient resources. I mean, the children, we could call them, the adults, we could call on them, and so on and so forth to help. Now, in addition, just to mention that the language learned. So what you saw, if you look at the script or you take the script, you will see about like 1,000 words. But in fact, in the training, there were more than double the amount of language which, the learners were exposed to. And all the grammatical aspects. And so the training, in Tunisian Arabic, inti is used for male and female, the you, it's like English. It doesn't distinguish between you feminine and you masculine, especially in the big cities. In Tunisia, there is a dialectal difference within the Tunisian language. So some have the inti, the you for all, some have inti. But most of the learned language centered around really the film scenes.
دكتور ماهر أسفل المقاطعة بس بقي 5 دقائق بس لنهاية السيشن.
Oh, excellent. Very good. Okay. So in addition, learners, enjoyed the activities that come with film production. With film production, for example, storyboarding is important. And that's an activity which, as you see here, so each one of them, was asked to kind of sketch this scene, this scene, this scene. And as they do, visual representations become, part of the activities in addition to the acting and so on and so forth. So it's another, there is really a bundle of activities that come with the production of a short film where you can incorporate them and include them, so you enrich all the training. Now, this particular reflections on this particular film could be found in this particular book, which I co-edited with Caroline Graham, Lights, Camera, Action in the Brain, the Use of Film in Education, appeared with Cambridge Scholars Publishing in 2012. I mean, please, feel free to recommend it to your libraries, the libraries in your universities. And it's an excellent book because it's not only describing my work, but it's also describing many other works in Europe, in the US, in the Middle East, and so on and so forth. So there is a chapter 9, which I co-authored with one of the teachers, Madame Wafa Mezghani, whom you saw in the souk, selling the traditional clothes. I just wanted to share with you Alan's mom, Michelle, who was part of the film. She sent us later on, after a couple months, this particular 2 pages, but I simply am sharing with you a little bit of this one. It was a delight to participate in the making of the MLI film with my children. I thank you for the opportunity. My son, who has struggled linguistically, even in English because of brain damage as a toddler, loves to watch what he calls my birthday movie in Arabic. He has actually begun to use the phrases from the film when talking to people in Darja, in Tunisian Arabic. So in my opinion, the film was a great success, and I thank you deeply. In fact, we could talk a lot about the reflection and the learning outcomes, but as you can see, the film has resulted in the Arabic session resulted in a product. And this is something we would like to keep in mind. Not just a product, it's a memorable product. And imagine if your course becomes a memorable product for your students. And imagine if the language we learn becomes memorable to our students, like amongst the most memorable experiences they've ever had. Okay, so the short film played really that particular function. Okay, and just to show you that this particular methodology has been really written about with so many different researchers. Also, how to really integrate art. There is a very, very good volume by Gail Burnaford in 2007, where she kind of explains the frameworks, the research, and the practice of arts integration, which is an extremely resourceful book. Caroline Graham is a major advocate of teaching language through chanting. You know, our era is pretty much a singing era. The youth, they love singing. And if English has taken, you know, a major part, we also have the Arab Idol, we have The Voice, so we have excellent also Arab voices, and learning language through chanting could also be promoted along those lines. So looking at, for example, the productions of Caroline Graham, where several chapters were songs, and they had learning outcomes which mirror the traditional textbooks. Okay.
Dr. Maher, I'm afraid our time is finished. If you can just...
I'm done.
وقتنا خلاص. Okay.
I'm done.
شكرا كثير.
Yeah. Just one more really, this particular book, The Director in the Classroom, How Filmmaking Inspires Learning, is also, I think, a must to have, in addition also to the book which I co-authored with Caroline Graham. Just a quote to finish, that filmmaking really is a chance to live many, many lifetimes. I will add the word memorable lifetimes to it. And with this, we will move to your questions. Should I stop sharing?
شكرا كثير دكتور ماهر. بدي وقف مع حضرتك هون. Any question from the audience, it will be posted to you after the session. If there is any question, please just post it in the chat, and then it will be sent to Dr. Maher.